Good morning and Happy New Year. My name's Andy and I am the Brit in Hungary. It's the 2nd of January 2021 and that awful year 2020 is now behind us. Thank God. So, as I always like to say, onwards and upwards. It can only get better. No, really. It's a weird old thing, this YouTube thing. You make these videos and you make them for yourself and you don't think for a minute that anyone's actually going to bother watching them. And then when people start to watch them, you think, oh my God, and you start to get a little bit scared. I've made a few videos this last few months and some of them have had like nearly 10,000 views and it's a bit scary, but at the same time, thanks a lot. It just seems really, really weird that people want to watch this rubbish, really. But yeah, thanks anyway. Yeah, I've been here for about 3 years now. Well, over 3 years now, and a lot of people have said, like, why didn't you start doing this when you first arrived? Well, there were lots of good reasons, but it was basically because I didn't want to upset a few people back in the UK. I didn't want to sort of be seen to be rubbing their face in it, if you know what I mean. So, but that's all finished now. It's all settled, so I can just crack on and do what I like and say what I like. Well, within reason, naturally. Yeah, I had a nice break, really. I've not really done a lot for a month. Sort of training-wise, cycling. I went out. I took my really nice new bike out for a ride a couple of weeks ago, and it got absolutely filthy and completely trashed. So I'm not going to do that again. I went out for a ride for 2 hours, and it took me 6 hours to clean it. So I'm going to get the old faithful mountain bike out and use that for the next few months, I think. The only problem is it's just a little bit neglected at the minute. I haven't really used it a lot. For most of this year, actually, since I discovered the joys of fixed gear riding. This is when I used to race. This was my number one sort of training bike. It's affectionately known as the ITB, the indestructible training bike, because it's indestructible. But just because it's indestructible, it doesn't mean it doesn't need a bit of TLC from time to time. Yeah, as you've probably gathered by now, I'm a bit of a sort of recycler, reuser, and I actually found this frame. It had been put out for the rubbish. I found it about 10 years ago. I was out walking the dogs, and I thought, oh, that's nice. It's a really nice diamondback frame. It's really, really nice. And I got it home, and it was all straight and everything, and I thought, oh, that'll do. And then I took all the gear off my old frame, my old mountain bike frame, and put it onto this one, and I've been riding it ever since, and God knows how many thousands of kilometres I've done on it. Yeah, so what I want to do really is just give it a clean and give it a bit of a lube. I haven't really ridden it for a long time, but yeah, it seems okay. There's this job. I want to do this job. It only had the fittings on for one bottle cage when I found it, and for about the last 10 years I've just been using cable ties to fasten the bottle cage on, but I'm actually going to put that on properly today. And the other motivator is there's a video I want to make about a local sort of attraction, perhaps next week. It's going to be really warm on Tuesday. They say about 15 Celsius, so I might get out and have a ride. And where I want to go is unbelievably hilly, and there's no way I'd make it on the other bike. So that's the sort of the second reason for dragging this one out of retirement. The other bikes are sort of up in the new gym at the moment. There's the new running machine we got. It's a bit sad to see, but that's my old race time trial bike. It's now used as a turbo on the turbo trainer. Yeah. Oh well. One day it'll be out on the road again, possibly. And this is my bike I've been using mainly this year. Well, parts of it at various times. Again, I've told the story on other videos, but the first drama was the wheels. Yeah, I decided I was going to bling the whole thing up. So I bought 2 wheels from China, deep section wheels, and I thought, ooh, that'll be lovely. I waited months and months for them to arrive, and when I did, they were in pieces in the box. Yeah, so anyway, this is the box the pieces arrived in. And you can see it's completely trashed. And this is the front wheel. Spokes are okay on this, but the rim is completely trashed. So my plan is to try to source another rim from somewhere, but there's no rush really. I'm not going to be out on the road until the spring, so that's the bad news. The good news is that I've managed to source some replacement spokes. The rear wheel, the rim was fine, but there was about 4 broken spokes, and I managed to source some replacements, and they're almost identical. You can only sort of spot the difference if you're really close up. Yeah, and I've just replaced the spokes, the broken spokes, and it doesn't actually look too bad. I might have actually got a decent back wheel out of it. Yeah, so like I say, there was a few broken spokes, and I've managed to replace them. I've never had much luck at all straightening wheels, truing wheels, or building wheels. But it seems that carbon rims are a bit more forgiving than steel ones. And I've got it running pretty well. I might have to drop it into the bike shop to get it sort of completely straight, but I think I've got away with it. So, I mean, you've got to be pretty happy with that, really, for an amateur. Not quite 100% true. But yeah, feeling very pleased with myself. And one of the best parts is that because of insurance and etc., I've very nearly got all of my money back for the wheels. So the only thing I haven't got back, I haven't got the import tax, which is about $70 US, but I'm chasing that at the minute. So it's been a lot of stress and a lot of hassle, but basically I've almost got a new rear wheel for almost nothing. So, you know. And as for the front one, I'll probably just, I'll try and order a new rim and get that built up here locally, spring sometime. So yeah, all's well that ends well, whatever, eventually, kind of. The other drama was with the frame. Yeah, this is a newish frame. I don't know, that's about 3 months old too. I was on a ride, and the pedal started to feel really weird, and it just got me home before everything completely disintegrated. And there were huge cracks on the old frame, on the bottom bracket, and the bottom bracket was about to drop out, and it was scrap basically. So I found this one, this nice new frame, exactly the same geometry, and it's really comfortable. It's really nice. It's really stiff, and it looks rather nice too. Oh yeah, I nearly forgot the best part. I thought plain black was really boring, and everybody knows that if you've got white stickers on your wheels, you go much faster. It's true. It's official. And I'm a bit of a, well, I'm a very sort of anti-bling, anti-fashion type person, and components have got names, well, really posh Italian names like Scirocco, Vento, Chamal, and all that sort of stuff. So my little brother's idea was to have something really Italian and pretentious, but something really vulgar. And Scorreggia is actually Italian for fart. So I thought I'd try and fit in with the Italian mystical wind theme. Yeah, and I think it's quite funny. But then again, I've got the brain of a 12-year-old. So yeah, that's my sort of anti-bling statement. I just hope I don't meet anyone who speaks Italian. Anyway, back to the job in hand. I've been wanting to do this for so long. Yes. Goodbye. Yeah, so like I say, there's no holes, so I'm not going to mess around. I'm just going to drill holes and put a couple of pop rivets in. I know it's not ideal, but it's the best I can do really. I haven't got any way of TIG welding any new fittings on, so that'll do. Yeah, and I've bought some nice new bottle cages, look, matching pairs. So yeah, go the whole hog. What the hell? The old boats. The bolts proving to be a little bit stubborn. I need a bit of assistance. I used to know someone, and she used to call this stuff UB40, and ever since I've always called it UB40, and then sometimes I say it by accident in front of people, and I think they think I'm stupid. And this, by the way, I don't know if you can still buy them. This was a specialised Avatar saddle. Oh my god, I don't know if they still make them now, but whew, yeah, Most comfortable saddle I've ever had, ever. And it still is to this day after, God knows how many years, 10 or 12 years. So yeah, if you can find one, Specialised Avatar. Lovely. Cool, blimey, look how that's polished up. It's going to look lovely. Woohoo, awesome. Looks pretty damn good. Well, that was easy, really. Whew. Well, that'll do for today, because I'm running out of daylight and I'm freezing my mammary glands off. So I think I'll carry on with that tomorrow. So, see you later. Good morning. It's the next day. It's a lovely, crispy January morning. It's lovely. I've had an hour or so on the old beast, and she's come up lovely. Look how shiny she is. It's fantastic. Yeah, I've oiled the chain. I put some grease on the bearings, just giving it a bit of a general fettle, really. Yeah, it's ready to go. Very pleasing. Very pleasing. Yeah, the only slight problem now is the gears aren't indexing very well, so I just need to give them a bit of a tweak. Yeah, one of the other things that people always ask me is like, why did you stop racing? Two reasons mainly. The first reason was I was too old, and I was aware that I was getting slower and slower every year. And I didn't want to be one of those 70-year-old blokes who turns up every week and, just for the sake of it. And it was taking me longer and longer to recover, from training rides and stuff. And I'd stopped. I'd achieved everything I'd wanted to do, really. So I packed it in. And the second reason was, well, the thing that we don't talk about, isn't talked about enough anyways, doping. Just at a time when professional cycling was getting its act together, amateur cycling just sort of went down the toilet. And there was so little testing that virtually, it got to the stage where I felt everybody was doing it with complete impunity, really. And it started off subtle, people were sort of being subtle about it, and then it got ridiculous, and then it ended up being downright hilarious. There was like guys, and they were turning up. They got full-time jobs, and they were turning up at the weekends and doing sort of Olympic level rides, world championship rides, and they honestly didn't think that anybody noticed, and it was just hilarious, really. And I was a postman for 4 or 5 years, and a lot of people, they'd get little jiffy bags from Turkey and China, and everybody knew what was in them. And yeah, sometimes I'd deliver them to people who I knew from the world of cycling, and I knew what was in them, and I knew exactly what they were up to. And the final straw for me was that there was a club presentation evening, and a guy who I knew full well was a doper, and he stood there, collected his trophies, and everyone shook his hand, and told him what a hero he was. And I thought, I'm just sick of this. I don't want anything to do with this anymore, really. So that was another sort of thing that expedited my retirement. I was a postman. I delivered your stuff, and I know who you are. So bear that in mind, everybody. You're not quite as anonymous as you think you are. There we go, all done. Look at that. Woo woo woo. Ooh, I can't wait to ride it now. Fantastic. But that's it. Both bikes raring to go. All I need now is some slightly warmer weather and a bit of enthusiasm. I think I say this every year, but I'd like to do some slightly longer rides this year. We did a great trip in the summer. I didn't sort of capture it on YouTube, unfortunately. We did a round Balaton ride. We rode around Lake Balaton, about 200 kilometres. We did it in 4 days. And I'd really, really like to do that again. And this time take the camera and do it properly. That was really, really good fun. Some long distance rides. I'd like to sort of do a bit more of the running. I started sort of dabbling with running last year, and it was hard at first. I've always said, look, running is like riding a bike with square wheels, but eventually I was sort of starting to quite enjoy it. It was starting to feel a bit more natural, so I'd like to do a bit more of that. I think every year for the last 10 years I've always said that I want to improve my swimming. because I can do the breaststroke and I can do the doggy paddle thing, but I've never been able to do the front crawl. So yeah, I'd like to be able to sort of learn to swim a bit better. But apart from that, just everything get back to normal, please. I know it's not going to happen immediately, but hopefully by the spring, with vaccine and stuff. But I don't know. There's so much optimism. I don't know about in the UK, but here there's so much optimism sort of in the air that everything's going to be so much better this year, and I really, really, really hope that's the case. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So here's to a considerably better 2021. I'm Andy, and I am the Brit in Hungary.